Hello, friends. Welcome to Coding Garden with CJ. Welcome to a morning Code Katas stream, where we will be solving code katas. Yes, Manny Manatee was here right now, right here, right now. So if you're new to the show, you can go to codewars.com, which is a fun website with user-submitted coding problems. And they range in difficulty, and you can also use many different language. Thank you very much, Dejasej, for the 100 bits. What else we got going on this morning? Sequel Gortster with the 213 sub. Thank you very much. Who says, I'm in the garden and I'm loving it. Nice. Yes, but if you go to codewars.com, this is a nice place to practice solving coding problems. They support many different languages. I use JavaScript because it's what I like, but you can choose whatever you'd like. And they range in difficulty. So 8Q are the easiest. And these are more like beginner problems, learning about the fundamentals of a given programming language. And thank you very much, Redstone Games, for that upgraded subscription. Much appreciated. And then it goes all the way from 8Q, which is easy, to 1Q, which is extremely hard. And today I am revisiting a problem that I've worked on in the past 2 episodes, and it's actually a 2Q. So it's in the range of very hard. I would say 1Q is extremely hard, 2Q is very hard. And that's what we're working on today. So if you type !working on in the chat, you will get a link to this, which is a thing I'm trying. And also, I realize my battery's at 4%. The She-Boss, thank you for that gifted sub. I'll be right back. That's my head. Cool. So, hey, Coden Canuck, thank you for the 100 bits. Thank you for the 100. Oh, we're the hype train. Hey, hey you. But yes, if anyone comes into the chat and they're like, hey, what are you working on? Just type !working on in the chat and it will link them here. And if they really want to know, they'll spend the time to read this because there's some background knowledge required for what we're doing today. So first of all, like I just mentioned, code katas. And so if you want to see all of the past solutions to katas that I've solved, you can go to github.com/codinggarden/code-katas. This is episode 57, so all code from the past 56 episodes is here. Thank you very much, NovaScript, for the 101 bits. Good morning. Good morning. And Dejasej, also known as DJ CJ, thank you very much for that gifted sub. You all are too kind. Too kind. Boga hey, Naptakar. Welcome. Cool, yeah, so this is all the past codes. And then if you click this link here, that will take you to all of the past episodes, which are on YouTube. However, episode 56 has not been uploaded just yet. Yeah, we're waiting on episode 56. That'll be released tomorrow, probably. But what we're working on right now is this thing called the class, what's a class list, but it's essentially an infinite list. It's a 2Q, like I mentioned. We started working on it 2 episodes ago, but this is very involved. And if you... Hey, it's J Phils. Thank you very much for that gifted sub. Shout out to It's J Phils. I don't know if you've said hello in the chat just yet, but check him out. He's a member of our Live Coders team. Hey, Howard. Thank you very much for that 213 sub. You all are nice. Very nice people. And Julian, thank you very much for the 50 bits. But in particular, the problem that I'm working on right now is this thing called class list. Now, on the surface, it might look like we're just implementing a list data structure. But it gets more interesting and more complex than that. Well, first of all, we have to implement all of these methods. So if you look under, we have these static methods we need to implement, and then all of these instance methods. And so we've been grinding, we've been implementing one by one, and we're at about 60% past test so far. And so the plan is today to continue working on this, hopefully finish it. I can't say that we will because there's a lot that we need to do, but I'm going to try my best. If you do !current kata in the chat, you will get a link to that kata. You can also go to the working on page to get a link to that kata. And if you do want to learn a little bit more about like what's happening here and the possibilities, here's some example code that we had to implement ourselves. So list is the class that we're implementing. You can say .repeat, the value 1, take 10 and say toList, and that will actually give you back an array of length 10 with 1s inside of it. But you could just have easily said .take 100 and it would still work. Hey, Slick Will, thank you for the gifted subs. Everybody's gifting subs today. Yeah, no worries, It's J Phils. Yeah, but check out It's J Phils. He's a member of our Live Coders team. He's a good dude. Click that link, drop a follow. So that's one example of the types of infinite lists that we can handle. And then also there's this thing like list.cycle. So you create a list from a list of the values 1, 2, 3, you cycle it, and then you take 10 of them, and it actually repeats those values. And you could technically take 100 and it would repeat them forever. So this is the thing that we're implementing. It's essentially, it's a gifting sub kind of day. It is, isn't it, Milky Dev? Shout out to Milky Dev as well. Am I calling you Milky Dev instead of Milky Dev? I'm gonna call you I'm gonna call you Milky Dev. Can we get some milks in the chat for Milky Dev? Shout out to Milky Dev. I think they're yeah. Glass of milk. All right. So that's what we're doing today. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. Appreciate the supports. Check out Code Wars. It's a fun site. I think what we're gonna do. What's up, Doc? What's up, Doc? I think what we're gonna do is potentially start off with like maybe a 7 or a 6Q. Because I have a feeling there might be some beginners here, and this is probably going to go way over your heads. And so to keep you interested, at least for the first 30 minutes or so, we might do like a 7Q, which is an easier one, and then kind of like walk through. And typically, so if you're new to this show, typically what I do is I will pick a problem and then solve it in multiple ways. So I don't just solve it once. We solve it with for loops. We solve it with while loops. We solve it with filters and maps and reduces and for eaches. We turn it into one-liners. We really, really attack the problem. Hey, GakBL, thank you very much for that 3-month resub. 3-month hype. So that's usually what we do. It's much harder to do that kind of thing on a 2Q because there's so much code that we have to write. So we'll get there. All right. Yeah. Oh, that'd be fun. I like this idea, Dad of Dom. Though it goes against what I just said, which was we actually break it down and solve it in multiple ways. Here's an interesting challenge. We pick a problem, like a 7 or an 8Q, and I see how many different ways I can solve it in 10 minutes. How about that? Huh? I like that idea. Remind me. We still got to say hey to everybody. I think that's what we're going to do. Cool. But before I say hey to everybody, I need your help. I need your help. I need you to tell me. So if somebody new comes into the chat and they're like, hey, what are you working on? What are you going to show them? What are you going to tell them? This is my break timer. You can take a quick stretch. There we go. Marty's got it. And who else did it? Shaggy did it. Exclamation mark working on. You just do that chat, do that command. You at them and you say, hey, check out that link. You can read about what he's working on right there. The other thing you can do is if you need a quick link, you can do current kata. And that will give you a link to the kata that I'm solving. I mean, technically it's not the current one right now, especially if we do a speed run. But after that. And thank you very much, GakBL, for the 100 bits who says level 2 complete. And Howard with the 50 bits who says just a bit. Awesome. So you all got to help me. Who else can tell me if someone asks what theme am I using in VS Code? How are you gonna tell them that? There we go. Shot in the Dark has got it. Check out the frequently asked questions. That's the other way to do it. Milky Dev has it. We have exclamation mark theme, but I think the better answer is, look, if you're asking what theme I'm using, you probably have a lot more common questions. So check out the frequently asked questions. And I updated the frequently asked questions last night. I added the answer to why are you standing? You can read about that there. What else did I do? I also posted all of the specs of the MacBook that I'm using here, so you can read about that. And I also posted my the table that I use if you're interested in that kind of thing. What desk do you use? And there's some links there too. But there's a bunch of other stuff answered. And if you look at the very top, there's a table of contents, so you can find the very first question. What theme do you use? What font do you use? All of that good stuff. Okay, thank you, everyone. You got my back, right? If new people come in and they ask these questions, you're going to help them, right? Can I get a nod? Can everyone just... can I get a smile? If you're going to help people that come into the chat, can I just get a little smile? What's up, Astaroth? Nod. Thank you, Myasin. Yep. Awesome. Cool. Thank you, everyone. All right. Before we say hi, we must acknowledge all of the new people, all the new followers. Afanya, thank you very much for that follow 15 minutes ago. Stan Shilette, thanks for following. Mazazemba, much appreciated. What's up, Gizmoo? And Ace on Twitch TV, hello. Source FX, thanks for being here. Alisan, thank you for the follow. Hikanch, thanks for following. Yolaran, thank you for following. Sujan Dahal, thank you for following. Tech with Turbinator. That's a cool name. Thanks for being here. Jound, thank you for the follow. SudoQ. That's also a cool name. We got some cool Twitch names here. And Zedawap, thank you for the follows as well. Welcome, Jukes, new from Argentina. Very cool, very cool. Actually, this is not on my frequently asked questions. It's not necessarily a frequently asked question, but it is people that are interested in doing what I do might have this question. And I use OBS. I use Open Broadcast Studio. So if you search Google for that, you'll find it. Got a stretch from PCM. Thank you, PCM. Everyone uses it. So, I mean, some people use Streamlabs OBS. There's, what's it called? Like vMix. There's a few other ones that people use, but I use just standard OBS. And Pranjal, thank you for that posture check. Thank you for being here. Cool. We got 2 focus modes. We'll use these focus modes for our speed run that we'll do after we say hi. And Benjamin Dev, thank you for the hydrate. Cheers, everyone. All right, now's the part of the show where we say hi to everybody. Some of you might not like this, but if that's the case, just meditate for 20 minutes, or take a walk for 20 minutes, or look on your phone in your contacts and find somebody that you haven't talked to in a while and send them a text or give them a call. Because while you're doing that, I'm going to say hi. So if you'd like to say hi to me, you can say hi, hello, hey, morning, afternoon, evening, howdy, coding, hiyo, vohayo, or good day. Good day. Wait, good day. We can do this. Good day, mate. Is that how do we do with the apostrophe? Like that? Do we have any Aussies in the chat? What's the right way to do it? What time is it's currently midnight in Sydney. Okay. Well, there might not be any. Regardless, if that's how you like g'day. Awesome. So we're going back in time. We're going back to 11 minutes ago. We have a hey from Unfair. Now, I'm curious. Is my overlay broken? Because I'm pretty sure I saw a hello from somebody else. Maybe they didn't say hello. But hey, Conrad, thank you very much for that Twitch Prime resub. Hi! Shout out to Conrad. They did the initial designs for our Entropy Chat app. Yeah. Whoa. Is this a limited time only emote? Very cool. I haven't read about that. Okay, but 11 minutes ago, Unfair said hi. Hello, Unfair. What's up, the She-Boss, and PCM, and Coden Canuck, and BS Chief Keef, and Lucian. Welcome. From Argentina. Very cool. What's up, Bluefinks? Kapow, Code Katas. What's up, Cleany Teeth, and Dev Henrique, and Superman CSGO, and Colenza, and Someone Amazing, and Danish, and Shaggy, and Tuzyo, and ACM, and Ute, and Mark, and BM Sickle from Australia. Very cool. Welcome. What's up, Impy? No, hello. No, we're doing hellos. There's a lot we gotta get done. But, Slothful Slothman. Thank you very much for that Twitch Prime sub. Okay. There's a lot of prerequisites because there are people coming in. They're like, what are code katas? So we got to explain that. We got to say hi. And then we'll talk about all this stuff happening on my screen if you're interested in that. But thank you all for the hype train. 10 subs, 500 bits. Y'all are nice. Good day from the West Coast. Very cool. And David, thank you very much for the 300 bits. Wow. You know, Julian says my overlay definitely missed the first people. Huh. Well, say hi. If you don't see your name here, say hi. And okay. We'll do this though. We got to get through it. Not get through it. We have to welcome everybody in. That's what we're doing here. So hello, Emphy. What's up, GM Awesome? Welcome to the show. Hello, Howard. Who says I nearly missed you. That would have been a disaster. Well, oh no. Thank you. I'm glad you made it. Thanks for being here. What's up, Folky Bits and Pal and Melky Dev? Good morning. What's up, Zelic? And it's Tom, for sure, says, hey, CJ in chat. I discovered your YouTube channel a few days ago, and I can't stop watching your videos. Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Also, I learned a lot, so thanks for that. I'm glad you did. You know, there are quite a few people. The reason I know is because they're telling me on Twitter. They're like, hey, I found YouTube randomly suggested you to me, and I watched your videos, which is interesting. I think I'm close to 76,000 subs. Let me see. I don't know, I'm at 75.8. The more subs you get, the more suggestions they give, I guess. I don't know. It's happening, everyone. We're blowing up. What's up, Lethal Air and Myosin and Paranoid Android? How's it going? What's up, MJP Hayes and Being Pranjal? Thank you for dropping by to say hello. Wojciech says, I'm new to coding, but I have a question. I made a launcher for my 5M server through C#, but I made update with login, and I can't switch the form on the first start. Some suggestions. I have no idea and no context for what you're working on. But if you join our Discord server, you can ask for help there. I haven't touched C# in a long time, though. So, but there are people of all kinds and all programming languages and type in our Discord, so feel free to ask it there. What's up, Drunk Time Lord? And Mihaj, how's it going? Hello, Computer Chip Dip. Back again. Queeter, hello. It's J Phils. Thank you for being here. Hello, Utori. What's up, Igoro? And Mrasha, and Dihue, and Jukes. What would I recommend if I'm looking for a job and I don't have an experience and all the jobs are 3 years of experience? What do I do? Don't listen to that. So the job requirements that are posted for a job are typically a wish list. It might say requirements, but for the most part, it's a wish list. Now, if people do apply that have that kind of experience, they might go to the top of the queue, but there might also be not that many people applying to the job because of the very reason that they listed three minimum years of experience. In my experience, years of experience don't mean that much. It's more about exposure to certain things. Like years of experience, you really only come into play, for the most part, for like architecture and things that require having worked on things a lot. But you can learn a lot in just a year or two of development and know how to do things pretty well. So my advice is don't listen to that. Apply anyways. Don't apologize for not having that experience. Don't lie. Don't say you have that experience. But if they like your portfolio and your background, they'll probably give you a call, even if you don't have that experience. That's my advice. What's up, White Dog? And GakBL, how's it going? Hello, Sid, and Ahmed, and Shines Love, and Function Jarvis. Hello. I'm doing pretty good. What's up, Zermax? And Clink, and Astaroth, and Mo Saeed, and Sujan, and Hax, and Netleak. You know what? I think my regular expression is off. Maybe it's that apostrophe. I realize. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. I just feel like we're powering through these hellos. Oh, it's not in order. That's why. 7 minute. Wait. Or is it? No, it is in order. I don't know. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. All right, what's up, Netleak and Nick Krayav and Moad? Hello, everyone. Welcome. What's up, David? And SP Dean. Hi. Hope you're doing good. What's up, Leet Rose? Shout out to Vape Juice Jordan. That's a Vape Juice Jordan emote, isn't it? It's his pants. These are the pants of Vape Juice Jordan. Jordan. Check him out. He's got pants. What's up, Bletch and Strider? Hello. What's up, Sawtooth? Ahimandi, welcome. Hello, Nessie. What's up, Imantra Trigo? And Loco Dev. Armpie says, good afternoon. Good to be in the garden. I'm glad you're here as well. Pseudo, how's it going? Hello, Coding Mill. And Santavalos. I'm doing good. The Real Blue Mage. Hello from Brazil. Very cool. Z-Ben, how's it going? What's up, Morpheus? And I'm Yeti. And Silver Days and Leading Lady. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for being here. Hello, Sir Goldman. And Lion Games, who says, I'm new to the channel. Well, welcome, Lion Games. I appreciate you for being here. Cheers. Whoa, now. SourceFX has donated $3, and they wrote text, so I will read it. SourceFX says, if I have a server-side app, like an Next.js app that fetches data from my API, what kind of... Whoa, hey, Bletch Kelly, thank you very much for that Twitch Prime sub. What kind of authentication would you recommend using for public content routes? What if, instead of Next.js, it was just a standard React SPA? How could I set up my API keys? I think regardless of whether it's a server-side rendered app or a single-page application, you still would use the same kinds of authentication, whether it's cookie-based auth or token and token header-based auth. Yeah, there's no real difference there, because at the end of the day, the app will eventually be running in the user's web browser, whether or not it was rendered on the server side or running on the front end. If you have more specific questions, feel free to ask in our Discord, and thank you for being here. Okay, hello, White Panther. How's it going? Afternoon. Yeah, we said hi to Lion Games. They're new here. And just shout out to White Panther. They're a member of our Live Coders team. They do really cool stuff. Check them out. They were last working on an interactive Twitch game. Nice. Yeah, I got your message. I forgot to respond, White Panther. But yeah, that's awesome that you're using the drop game that we've been working on. Though the drop game you're seeing right now is technically the old one. We still haven't switched over to the new one yet. What's up, NovaScript? Ardpala says, it's broken. There were hellos from 24 minutes ago. You're right. I don't know what's wrong. I don't have the time to fix it, but I'll look into it later. What's up, Gaming Diamond and Source Effects? Thanks again for that donation. Hello, Terracino. Welcome, welcome. What's up, R-Cooled and Mana and J-Hat and Smash? Welcome. Hello, Soren and Dudio and Juan from El Salvador. Very cool. It's unfortunate. I'll have to look at that. If I didn't say hi to you, I apologize. Just feel free to say hi while we're doing the thing, because we haven't started writing code yet. We're almost there. But once we start writing code, say hi, and I'll see it out of the corner of my eye. Hello, Sequel Gortster and Terrazoid and Binary King and I am. Hey, no worries. You're here. You're here. I appreciate you. What's up, Matrix and Andres and Ropey from Russia? Very cool. Thanks for being here. William Cameron says, "Are we all well today? What's on the agenda?" I'm doing good. I got some good sleep. My dog actually went in for a teeth cleaning. Hey, DJ CJ, thank you very much for the 100 bits. Who says hi? That's also another way to get my attention, is to throw bits at me. You don't have to do that though, but thank you, DJ CJ. But yeah, my dog got a teeth cleaning. He's a very big dog, and to do the teeth cleaning, they had to put him under, which was scary because, you know, there's a possibility that he might not come out of that. But he did. He's doing okay. He came home and he was so out of it. He couldn't put his tongue in his mouth. He was so derpy. He could barely stand up. He wasn't able to actually stand up until like midnight. He was out of it for a very long time. We were a little bit worried, and he hasn't drinking that much water. So right now, Panzer, that's Panzer. Panzer's on my mind. But he's doing better, and he'll probably like recover a whole lot more today as well. And his teeth are clean, so that's great. Yeah, Panzer is like a bear. Did somebody do the clip? You can take a look at him there. 563 views. Look at that. He's famous. But yeah, I'm doing good. I'm thinking about my dog. That's all of that to say. I'm thinking about my dog. Hello, Marty and Overdrive. How's it going? What's up, Gizarex? Or Gizarex and Magic and Marius and Beta. Okay, we're gonna do a speed run. Bohemura, welcome. Hello, Crispy and Odin and Tech with Turbinator. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Hello, Zimnoise and Georges. Thank you for the hydrate as well. Bosifius, how's it going, friend? Hello, hello. What's up, Jeff? And Zayates and Catherine and Schnappy and Greenie. Yeah, I feel like this was the first message, wasn't it? I feel like, Greenie, I feel like you gave the first hello. Are these times wrong? Is this in the wrong order? Depopom, hello. Richard, hello. Airtons, hi. What's up, Sixvex? And CMOC. Simo K. Hounty. Simo, how's it going? Or Simo. I'm Tom Eddy. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, and C-Roar. And Chad. Good morning, good morning. Hello, Tito. And Frusaland and Boga Hey Strand. Thanks for being here. What's up, Naptakar? And Mark and FV Bommel. I think you missed me, so hi again. I'm sorry if I did. What's up, Declars and Bash and C-Nova and Thite and Walpolia and Submicron. All right, we did it. Now, as the coding garden grows, it gets harder and harder to do such things. Yeah, my chat only goes back 11 minutes ago. I don't know. It'll be fine. It's broken. Time for a rewrite. No, I think at this point, the code base is in a place to not rewrite, but to refactor and make better. Yeah, let's talk about how to do like statuses and stuff like that. First of all, you've seen this happening. You're probably wondering, why are people typing drop in the chat? If you type !drop me, that will drop your avatar. So there I am, you see? And if you land in the coding garden, like, who was this? Ethereal Blue Mage. Great work. The closer you are to the center in the garden, the bigger your name will be. Is it broken or is it a feature? I mean, it could be. It's a feature because I don't have to say hi to as many people, I guess. I don't know. What's up, Beta? I don't know of any libraries for that, but you can check out PouchDB, which is offline sync with CouchDB. But yeah. Great job, DJ CJ and Tito. That's what I'm going to call you, Tito. And I'm Tom Eddy. Yeah, great. And so the closer you get, the bigger your name is. And that's a fun thing that you can do if you're bored at any point, or if you're not bored. There used to be a leaderboard. People took this drop game very seriously, but it's a game of random chance. It's just totally random where you will land. Awesome. The next thing is my overlay. You can see that some people have their country flag in the overlay, and also team badges. So Gazija. is from Bosnia, or their flag is Bosnia. Very good. And ACM has the India flag, and Panjal has the India flag, and Horror has the Slovenia flag, and Artisanon has the Brazil flag. William Cameron has the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland flag. So you can set a flag in the overlay. What's up, John? I haven't seen you in a while. Hopefully you're doing okay. So if you do exclamation mark country followed by your 2-character country code, it will set your country. So for me, it is US. And then if I do that, you will see the United States of America flag, just like that. And then the other thing is that thing over on the right, and that's your badge. Yeah, so what Elite Rose says, it's join Team Spotify, if you want to. But if you go to this URL here, this is the Font Awesome brand cheat sheet. Basically, anything on this web page, you can pick the name and then set it in your overlay. So John has the OpenSUSE logo, and we have the Vue logo there. Yeah, no worries, John. Yeah, I realize a lot of people going, college is starting back up, school is starting back up. People are busy. Oh, yeah, Adapt Dom says, Team Spotify. Are you on Team Spotify, though? I don't see it. But you can pick anything on this. Is it not working? Did I break it? I'm going to pick one. Let's see. It doesn't work. Let's see. Huh. It's very possible it's broken. It's very possible that I broke it this morning. I'm gonna join Team Linux. So pick a. Oh man, there's no way I just closed Firefox. How does this happen? How does this happen? Firefox is supposed to warn me before closing. Well, everybody. It's literally supposed to warn me before the entire browser shuts down. Oh well, that's fine. It opened up just fine. So if you do team and then put that name in, does it work? Yeah. See, it works. I'm Team Linux. Oh, Hooli. Yeah, they have things from what's that show called? Silicon Valley. It's a wonderful show. That's why I quit using Firefox. You saw it here first, folks. I'm gonna keep using Firefox. They need us now more than ever, right? Okay, let's start writing some code. So the way we're gonna start this off is we're gonna do a speed run, but it's gonna be a different kind of speed run. We're gonna pick either a 7 or an 8Q kata. I think let's pick an 8Q, and we're gonna see how many different ways can we solve that problem in 10 minutes. Yeah. Hi. Oh, thank you, Ear. Thank you for the 100 bits. My horse is about 4.5 years old. Yeah. Cool. All right. Yeah, let's pick a thing. So if you're new to Code Wars, here's some. Oh yeah. You're right. We do actually have 2. Yeah, we have 3 focus modes, I think, at this point. Whoa, that's a lot of focus modes. And thank you, Mod, for the stretch. Yeah. Cool. Let's okay. I'll let the follows keep coming in. If you're new here, I acknowledge follows in batches just so that doesn't get interrupted. Doing 6Q Jewel Thief. It's probably too hard. So here's the thing. If I want to solve it multiple ways in 10 minutes, it's got to be a fairly easy problem. Some 8Qs aren't that easy, though. All right, we'll do a 7Q. How many different ways can we solve it in 10 minutes? And if you're new to this website, I'll give you some pro tips. So instead of sorting by newest, you should sort by, you can sort by newest if you'd like to. But if you sort by most completed, you're going to see the challenges that most people have completed. Now, that doesn't mean they're easier. It potentially means that they have a better problem description. And it means that people have had a better time following the directions solving the problem. So if you sort by most completed, you're more likely to find one that's not going to frustrate you. So sort by most completed. You can choose your language. I'm going to do my languages, which is JavaScript. And then here, I'm going to choose katas that I have not trained on. So these are going to be things that I have literally never seen before. I've probably seen problems like them. Look, I'm a 3Q. I have 1,900 points here. I've done a lot of katas. So, okay. Maximum multiple. I'm gonna choose one that I know I can solve in multiple ways. This is for YouTube content. Okay, it's for YouTube content. Given a divisor and a bound, find the largest integer in, such that in is divisible by the divisor. In is less than or equal to the bound. In is greater than 0. It seems doable, but it's very mathy. So we'll hold on to that one. Yeah, it's very mathy. Sum of angles, it sounds like it's mathy. Sorted, yes, no, or how. Let's see. Complete the method which accepts an array of integers and returns one of the following. Yes, if it's in ascending order. No, yes, if it's in then descending order. And no otherwise. Okay. Maybe. This also seems very tricky. Let's actually do this. We're going to filter by fundamentals. This is in, again, this is in the name of YouTube content. And also, it is currently 8:20 a.m. for me. I'm not trying to change the world with this kata that we solve. I'm gonna forget about those two. Okay. If you can't sleep, just count sheep. The task. Given a non-negative integer 3, return a string with a murmur, 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep. Input will always be valid, no negative integers. I like this one. I actually like this one a lot. We'll vote on it, though. We'll pick, like, 2 more, and then we'll vote on it. Third angle of a triangle. Nope. Convert a string to an array. Let's see. Write a function to split a string and convert it into an array of words. For example, we have this. And we have this. Yeah, you see, that's the thing. If we do counting sheep, we can use a sheep emote in the title. Yeah. Well, I know that it's too easy. I know that it is, but I can solve this in at least 3 ways. We could try to find more ways. Okay, convert a string to an array will be interesting because, I mean, obviously you're like, oh, you're in JavaScript, just use split. What if you didn't have split? Could you implement it from scratch? That could be fun. Is it content worthy? I don't know. Simple multiplication. Write a function. Wait, no, that's not it. This one. This kata is about multiplying a given number by 8 if it is an even number and by 9 otherwise. That is too easy. Wait, I thought we were looking at 7 Qs. Jorge Pasco, thank you very much for that resub. How many months? 4 months. And then Suji just subscribed with Twitch Prime, but I didn't see that on my overlay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't see that. But thank you very much, Suji, for the 2-month Twitch Prime resub. Now that's one I could solve. I want to look at 7Q. I don't know why okay. And we are looking at fundamentals and 7Qs. Let's see. Speed control. In John's car, the GPS records every S seconds the distance traveled from an origin. For example, below is part of a record with S equals 15. Okay, the sections are, okay. We can calculate John's average hourly speed on every section. Hey, Bosifius, thank you very much for those gifted subs. 5 gifted. Thank you. Wow. Wow. Maths. We can calculate John's average hourly speed on every section, and we get 45.6, 74.4. It's kind of mathy. Oh, man. We'll find something. We could technically do FizzBuzz. It could be fun. I think we're just going to do counting sheep. Okay, write a function named repeater that takes 2 arguments, a string and a number, and returns a new string where the input is repeated that many times. I like that one too. Okay, let's look at FizzBuzz. Boy. No, it's meow. Wow. Return an array containing the numbers 1 to n, where n is the parameter. Okay, we're going to vote on these 3. Quick poll. Here we go. Which one? Count sheep. So the counting sheep one basically says, given a non-negative integer 3, return a string with the murmur 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep. So you're given any number and you have to return a string that has the sheeps inside of it. I can think of at least 5 ways to do this. I don't know if I can think of 10 ways, but we're gonna solve it as many ways as possible in 10 minutes. Convert a string to an array. So we're given a string. We need to convert it into an array. I could think of maybe 3 ways to solve this. We could also show it with different kinds of for loops. We could show it with a while loop and a for loop. So convert string to an array. And then this last one is repeater. So you're given a string and a number of times, and you need to repeat that string that number of times. And I can think of, there's a built-in way of doing it. We could use a for loop. We could potentially use a map in a way. We'd have to figure it out. All right, we're going to do a 3-minute poll. There we go. Vote now. If you're in the mobile app, just click at the top. It may not be apparent, but you can click this, and that will allow you to vote. I think maybe there's a way to vote in the chat. It's up to you. But while we're waiting on that, we are going to acknowledge all the new followers. Thank you to HHKK. Thanks for being here. What's up to Abhishek? Thank you for the follow. Betta, thanks for being here. What's up, Just? And Wavy. And Leon. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Willamar? Willamar? And PJ. And Jam, thanks for being here. What's up, Shady Bites? Fruit Salad. Thanks for being here. Nick Patel, thank you for the follow. Leptol Toledo, thanks for being here. Jeff Bezos, much appreciated. I appreciate that you appreciate Code KATAS. Walkator, thanks for being here. What's up, Quedrock? And Jilly, thank you all for being here. Okay, William Cameron says, /vote number in the chat. So if I do 3, is it 0 based? Oh no, that worked. It's not 0 based. I have not made a video for Traversy Media, but it's in the works. It's in the works. We've been in chats. We've been in the chat. We've talked with each other. Okay, so we've got focus modes. Leading lady, thank you for the hydrate. Cheers. And Myosin also with the hydrate. Cheers. Why are so few people voting? Well, hey, I actually don't know how many people are watching me right now, and don't tell me. Do not tell me how many people are watching. I am purposefully not looking at the viewer count, but I mean, this is over 100 people that have voted. That's good. Seriously, don't tell me how many people are watching. Jaridi, thank you for that follow. Much appreciated. And I am, thanks for the hydrate. Going for the invisible cup. We haven't done this yet today. 10,000 viewers. I said, don't tell me. And ACM, thank you. We'll take a break after we do the speed run. And Superman CSGO, thanks for the posture check. Infinite, yeah. It doesn't matter how many people watching. It matters how many people are engaged, right? And who's engaged? Are you engaged? Type 1 in the chat if you're engaged right now. Well, I mean, like engaged in watching this video, not engaged to be married. That's different. That's different. At least 2 viewers. There are at least 2 people here. No, I'm single. Nice. Thank you all. I'm lonely. Hey. Yeah. Okay. What's the slow mode on? Yeah. There's a lot of people here. We got 2 follows. I'm waiting for this thing to run out. Count Sheep has 1, surprisingly. Very cool. I appreciate y'all. Ichiban, thank you for that follow. And Crisp Salt, thanks for the follow as well. All right, let's get right into it. I'm going to set a timer. Can someone tell me how many seconds are in 10 minutes? I mean, it's 600 seconds. I can do math. It's 600 seconds. You don't have to tell me that. I can figure that out. Oh, yeah, look at that. My timer's already ready to go. Let's see. But now. Nice. And then if we go over here, it's down here. Very cool. And if we turn it off and we turn it back on, it resets. Cool. Okay, 600. It's 600. 1 billion seconds. All right, and then let me just get set up because I'm actually going to write this code locally. Count sheep. Content. Count sheep.js. So I'll show you how I like to do this. Typically I will go in, I'll copy the function that they've provided. I actually don't know, I don't know, or I don't like how sometimes they use a function expression versus a function declaration. I prefer a function declaration, like so. So we have a function called countsheet that takes in a number, and then they usually provide a few tests. Yeah. So these are some basic tests that just make sure that we can at least count up to 3. And instead of doing a test here, we're just going to do a console log. Let me run my linter. Beautiful. Things are looking good. I think we're ready. I'm also going to start up Quokka. Check this out. It's beautiful. Type exclamation mark. How you do that or something, I don't know. Does anybody know the command to link to Quokka? But this is a nice extension that, there it is. Hey, Superman CSGO, thank you for that 2-month resub, who says, thank you, CJ, for sharing stuff with us. Love you, man. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate the kind words. My computer is called Quokka. Oh, nice. Yeah, but Quokka actually runs my code inside of the editor. Let's make it nice to look at, though. Like that. Like that. Yeah, I'm going to do this just so we can see it all on the same screen. We are then going to start a focus mode, and we're going to make YouTube content. Are you all ready for this? Oh, what did I just do? I gotta stop. Okay. Good morning, Electrothermal. Boga, hey, thanks for being here. Well, thank you, Trampoline Tales. Much appreciated. Okay. Let's do it. Content! And we're going to start a focus mode, too. Here we go. And we'll do this. Hello, friends. Welcome to Coding Garden with CJ. In this roughly 10-minute video, I'm going to attempt to solve this code kata in as many ways as possible. So this is called, if you can't count sleep, just count sheep. So you are given a non-negative integer, for example, the number 3, and you must return a string with the murmur. 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep. So, and it says the input will always be valid and there are no negative integers. So we're given a number. We need to create a string that repeats and counts up the number of sheep. Great. All right. I have here my function count sheep. I have a couple of console log tests. Right now, my function doesn't return anything. It's returning undefined. Let's fix that. I think the most basic way to solve this would be potentially with a for loop. Let's solve it with a for loop. And actually, I'm going to write some pseudocode. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say we need a place to store the string itself. So the thing that we're building up, right? We need to create a string that has 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep inside of it. So we need a place to store that. We then need to iterate up to the number provided, right? So we need to loop. We need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to whatever is provided. If it's 1, we go up to 1. If it's 3, we go up to 3. If it's 1,000,000, we go up to 1,000,000. But we need to iterate up to that number. And then for every single number, we need to append to that result string. So append like I sheep, or like current number sheep to the result string. And a few dots after it. Hey, Rarsat Beards, thank you for that Twitch Prime sub. There is sound. Stop ends. We're in the middle of YouTube content. You can't interrupt me with YouTube content in the middle of YouTube content. You've already interrupted. Look, we've already wasted 2 minutes. Stop it. Okay, so append the current number with sheep to the result string. We'll also need to append ... And then at the end of it all, we are going to current number sheep, right? And then we need to return the result string. Okay, so if you're new to coding and you've never solved problems like this before, this is a good way to approach it. Basically, you break it down into the steps in human readable terms, and then we can now turn these steps into code. But what I'll show you is there are many different ways to turn these steps into code. So first, we need a place to store the string. What that means is we need a variable. So I'll say, and it needs to be a let variable because we're going to reassign it. And let's just call it result, and we initialize it to the empty string. So we start off with nothing, and then we're going to build it up. We need to iterate to the number provided, not provider, provided. And so in this case, we're going to create a for loop that I'm going to create a loop that goes from 1, because we need to start at 1, and we need to go up to the number itself. So we're going to start I at 1. We use I because we use I. I don't know. We could use another variable. But we're going to go while I is less than or equal to number, right? So if it's 1, do it. If it's 2, do it. And if num was 3, if it's 3, do it. But when I becomes 4, don't do it. So less than or equal to number. And then I plus plus. And actually, I'll update my pseudocode. So iterate up to the number, up to and including the number, right? Up to and including the number. Cool. So we have a loop. This is gonna tell us each individual number value, and then we need to append that to the string. So we'll say result plus equals. We need to create a string that says the current number I, and then sheep dot dot dot. And are there yeah, there are no spaces between. So 1 sheep, 2 sheep. So that, I think this actually should do it. And then we return the result string. There we go. So we get 1 sheep, 1 sheep, 1 sheep, 2 sheep. Oh, we're missing a space, right? So our output is missing the space between the number and sheep. So we need to put a space right here. All right, space before sheep, and I think we've done it. Just to test, I'm gonna run my code on Code Wars, and if it passes, then we're gonna write it in at least 2 more ways. We have 5 minutes, but at least 2 more ways. So I'm gonna do a quick test. Pass, great. So, like I mentioned, we have this pseudocode, but there are more ways to do it. I think the first way I'll show you is actually with our existing solution, but instead of a for loop, we could use a while loop. Let's do it with a while loop. That could be fun. So instead of a for loop, we're going to say we basically need I outside of the loop. So we'll say I equals 1, and we'll say while. And to convert a for loop to a while loop, you really just take this condition and you put it on the while, like that. And then you take this thing that's usually at the bottom of the for loop and you put it inside the while loop like this, and then that goes in there. And if we've done everything correctly, it works. So it's slightly different. Instead of having, because a for loop allows us to define all three things. We have our initial value, we have our check that happens on each loop, and we have our increment that happens on each loop, right? And we're doing the same thing, but now we're doing it with a while loop, and the result is the same. Great. The other thing I'll show you, which is, I mean, it's basically the same way to solve it, but instead of doing string concatenation here, we could do a template literal. So let's change that. So right here, instead of saying I plus sheep, so that's number plus sheep, it's creating a new string that's the combination of that number and that string. We can use what's known as a template literal. So we use backticks instead of single quotes. And then if we want to represent a variable inside of that string, we wrap it in curly braces and put money in front of it, and this will do basically the same thing. So 1 sheep, 2 sheep. It's a slight refactor, but it's about the same. I guess another thing I'll mention is that instead of starting at 1, typically you see for loops starting at 0. So we could start at 0, but then we would not want to go less than or equal. We would want to just go less than. And instead of just doing I, we would do I plus 1. So this solves it in the same way. 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep. But instead of starting the loop at 0, we started at 1. Great. That's awesome. So that's like the for loop way. Let's try to do it with array methods. So instead of a loop, I'm going to create an array of the length number, right? So here's what we'll do. We'll say array.from. We can pass it an object, which is an array-like thing that has a length property. So this is going to create an array of that given length, right? So we're basically creating a list. And actually, it's kind of going to be a one-liner, so just bear with me. So create an array of the length that we need. The interesting thing about array from is that it accepts a callback method, and you get the current value. In this case, the current value is going to be undefined because every value inside of that array doesn't exist because we're creating it from nothing. And so we'll use underscore, which just because we don't care about it. We could call it anything, but we're going to call it underscore, and then we get I, and I is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3. It's going to be the index itself. And this method here gets invoked for each value that we're trying to create. And actually, I do need result. This will actually work this way. So, and if I say let result start off as an empty string, this will do the same thing. So here's what happens. Result starts off empty. We're creating an array that's going to be this length. And then this function is basically like a map function. I'll show you map in a second. But this function will get called on every single value. And then we are appending the result itself, which is great. So that's nice. But let's actually use map instead. I mean, technically, if you were going to do this, you would probably do this instead of a map, because this is a bit more optimized because it runs this function while it's creating the array, whereas a map would create the array and then iterate. But we got a minute and a half, so let's do a map. So basically, I would just do this. So create the array. Now we have an empty array of values that are undefined. And then we want to map it. And that's going to give us each value, which is undefined, but we also want the index, because then we can do something like this. And so that's going to be the specific number of sheep at that place. Here we go. So map it. And then now this actually, so if I return this, I'll show you what we get. If I return this, we get an array that has the values inside of it, but I want to turn that array into a string. So I could just do something like this. I could do .join and pass in the empty string, and that's going to take that array and smack it together back into the result. Great. And then we have 47 seconds. So the last thing I'll do is a reduce. So we create the array, and then instead of mapping and then joining, we can do it all in one go with a reduce. So we're going to do a reduce. We have our, let's call it result, because that's our accumulator. It starts off as an empty string, and then we just return result plus that value. And then we don't need the join anymore, and this should work. So one sheep, two sheep, one sheep, two sheep, three sheep. We have 20 seconds. What can we do in 20 seconds? I don't know. I think we're going to stop it there. Thank you all for watching. Let's see how many ways we solved it. So first, we solved it with pseudocode, which is not a programming language. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5, 6, 7, 8, roughly 8 different ways to solve the problem. And yeah, so somebody was like, hey, what happens if you do, let's just see if we pass in a really large number. It should work. We have written this function in a general enough way that no matter, we should pass in, no, there is no space. There is no space. So there should not be a space between the values. So we do need to pass in an empty string, not a space. Okay, but let's just try logging count sheep with 100. And look at that. 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep, 4 sheep, 5 sheep, 6 sheep, 7 sheep, 8 sheep, and just, it keeps going on and on. Alrighty, everyone, thank you for watching. This was what, I'll go count again. Was it 9 ways? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish different ways to solve the problem. Hopefully this was fun and useful for you. Yes, this is technically YouTube content. You saw the thumbnail, you clicked the video, you watched to the end if you're hearing me say this. Thank you for tuning in. Everyone say bye, YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye, YouTube. And I'll also mention, if you like this kind of thing, tune in every Wednesday here on the Coding Garden. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Coding Garden, and you can be a part of all these wonderful people that are watching live and telling me how I should solve things, instead of just watching. Just watch. I don't know. Bye. All right, that's it. Great work, everyone. How'd I do? Does anybody have any suggestions that I didn't do? Hey, Visual Studio, thank you very much for that host. Much appreciated. We are the Sheeps. Ezrab, thank you for that 2-month resub who says, hello. Hello. I can do it recursively. Oh, recursive could be cool, huh? We could use generator functions. Let's try to do it recursively really quick. And I think my reduce is actually very conducive to that. So we'll say if num is equal to 1, return. Yeah, but this is our base case. Bonus content, yeah, just for you watching here on Twitch. So we need our base case. If the number is equal to 1, no, actually no. If the number, we have to do it in reverse. Right? Build the string backwards. Okay, maybe we don't have to do it in reverse. What we want to do is we want to return count sheep with starting at 1? Num minus 1. Bottom up recursion? Here's the thing. I can't think recursively. I really can't. So we could return... Okay, actually, I see. Because we then do this, and then we do this. If num is equal to 0, return the empty string. I can do it, but I can't really talk about it while I do it. Like this. All right, did I do it? Did I do it, everyone? Is this recursive? Yeah. No, it's not. We have 2 sheep. So we actually start with in minus 1. Yeah, this is basically it, but I do num minus 1 plus 1. That negates it. Well, it's just num. I don't know why I have no idea why. Oh, I incremented it because I copied this code here. But yeah, you don't increment it. You just say num sheep. So 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 1 sheep, 2 sheep. And then if we do that, look at this one. Yeah. It's just num. I figured it out, everybody. I can do recursion, sort of. Okay, that was fun. Let's get to the task at hand. The first test case is wrong. Is it? Num plus 1 minus 1 times 1 divided by 1. We got some follows. Thank you all for following while that YouTube content was happening. Void, thanks for being here. Hello, Kashif, much appreciated. Trampoline Tails, thank you for being here. Yali, thanks for the follow. Vizjotin, thanks for the follow. Clabs, thank you for following as well. Sinbad, much appreciated. Luxy, hello. Kiro, thank you for the follow. Captain Machiavelli, thank you for the follow. Opsy, thanks for following. And Aperion, thank you for following as well. Welcome. It said 1 sheep, 1 sheep. Oh, I'll show you why. It's showing the output versus the expected output. Because see, I'm logging the output and then the expected output. You're a little late, Navi, but that's okay. Other people might have thought the same thing. Because this is what I'm outputting, this is what the expected output is. Yeah, and for those of you just joining, that extension I'm using is called Quaka.js. Hey, Jim, thank you for the 100 bits. Initialize a string that has 1 e to the 6 sheep, then return a splice. I don't see why not. I don't see why not. But this tool is really cool. It actually outputs your console logs inside of your editor, and that's what you see is happening there. Whatever I console log is being output. How about the shortest code? Why not? Why not? I think an easy way to do that would really probably be to take the reduce and let's turn it into a one-liner. That's one thing we didn't do, is turn it into a one-liner. Array.from. Really, the way to shorten this is if we pass in the value called length, then we can use a shorthand here. Call this R instead of result. Get rid of the spaces here. I mean, I'm pretty sure a template literal is actually longer than string concatenation, but this is our one-liner, which is nice. Oh yeah, you have to turn it on. Yeah, it's a good point, Bosifia. So after you install Quaka, if you press Command-Shift-P and search for Quaka, you can go to Start on Current File, and it'll start running it. Count sheep, num, count sheep. Oh yeah, that's the recursive solution. I mean, I guess we could shorten the recursive solution, which is probably shorter. Yeah, if we one-line this, it's gonna be shorter. Because then we can do this. So if num is a thing, then do this. Otherwise, empty string. Because we can short circuit the well, not short circuit, but we can use the falsy stuff. So we can do this. And it works. 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep. And is that shorter? It is shorter. Look at that. And we can make it even shorter because we can call this in instead. We can get rid of spaces. Get rid of these spaces. I mean, technically, we can get rid of that plus sign if we put this in here. Well, then that adds 1 3 characters. So what I was thinking is we could do this, like that, because put it in the template literal. But that adds 2 extra characters because you have the curly brace. And I think we can do this. You can't get rid of that. You can get rid of that. Look at that, everybody. You would have needed the space. Oh, you're right. We do need this space. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool to see it change. Go like that, or like that. Magnificent. Okay, so that was fun. Is that I kind of disagree. I don't think this is a fine looking function. I think this is very terse and hard to read and understand. If you're curious as to how I would, let's say if this was production code, if I needed to count sheep in production, which one would I use? Honestly, I would use this one. I wouldn't use map. I wouldn't use reduce. Like those using those higher order methods on this particular problem does not gain any benefit. And if anything, it causes more iteration. So in production, this is how I do it. It's not as pretty looking, but it's good. And like, yeah, that's the other thing to think about here. So array.from has to iterate up to length to generate the array. That's one iteration. Then a map has to look at each value and do something. That's another iteration. And then a join has to iterate again to put it all back together. Technically, this is like big O of 3n, which reduces down to big O of n, but it's still more iteration and more potentially more memory that it needs to use. Whereas this one, small. All right, enough of that. Now, what you all probably didn't come here for is I'm going to go back to a kata that I started solving 2 episodes ago. And we can talk about that right here. So what you just witnessed was YouTube content in a few days. No, wait. Who changed my work? Mods. I had a working on command, and you overwrote it. Who did it? Shame the mods. It's fine. We'll figure it out. Chad did it. It's fine. I know what the URL is. So git.io/working on. No. It's real. It's a real thing. No worries, Chad. It's okay. Working on. View the stream. I literally don't want this. No worries, Chad. I didn't relay it to any of the mods, so you would not have known. But I don't want this command to ever change. So first of all, if you're wondering what I'm working on, view the stream title. Also, see here for more details. Chad is not fired. If anything, we're gonna give him a raise because he's working. You know, he's doing his best. It's not like he was slacking off. He was trying to make a difference. Yeah, I think that's it. Here we go. So first, if you're curious as to what I'm working on, look at the stream title. Otherwise, go to this URL, and there's a bunch of background information. I'm going to go through this once because you're all here right now. But if anybody new comes along, throw that command out there. And basically, you got to do a little bit of work to understand what we're doing here. So this is the Code Wars stream. This happens every Wednesday. If you go to github.com, yeah, can we get some hearts in the chat for Chad? Chad was just literally trying to do his job. And I did not mean to shame you, Chad. Hopefully you're still here. Hearts. Thank you for being a mod here on the Coding Garden. Did Chad leave? Chad, please don't leave. Just say hi. Let me know you're still here. Thanks, y'all. I felt fine about it. Okay. No regrets. Awesome. Okay. So, like I mentioned, you've arrived at the Wednesday Code Kata stream. One thing I didn't mention earlier is typically this happens in the evening. Typically 7 p.m. GMT -6. However, there's a schedule change. So I am now going to be streaming 3 days a week instead of 4 days a week, and they're all going to be morning streams. Now, this is going to be somewhat temporary. I'm going to do this for maybe a month or so to see how it works out, but I'm no longer going to be streaming on Saturdays, and I'm no longer going to be streaming in the evenings, at least for now. For now, everyone. So if you take a look at the schedule, twitch.tv/codinggarden/schedule. Hey, C# Fritz, member of our live coders team. Check him out. Wait, what am I doing? Yeah, go here and click on schedule. It's now just Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 7:30 a.m. GMT minus 6 to roughly 9:30. We've got roughly an hour left. That's great for you and my wife. No, I'll admit, like, one of the main reasons I'm doing it is so I can spend more time with my partner and my dog, have more home life. I've already got the check mark. I don't think Twitch can take the check mark away from me. I'm gonna stop streaming 4 days a week and do 3 days a week. Okay, that's that. And so the reason I'm mentioning that is because this stream used to be in the evenings. It's now going to be Wednesday mornings instead. If you're totally new to all of this, this is the 57th time that we've done this. So you can go to this playlist and see all of the past episodes. You can see some other speed runs and stuff where I solve stuff really fast. But right now, what we're about to do is not a speed run. We're getting into some test-driven code, some very complex code. And it is this problem right here. We started it 2 episodes ago. Oh, you're right. They can take it away. But as far as I know, they don't take the check mark away from partners. I'm going to have to start waking up earlier. Hey, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, I guess, right? But this is the problem that we are solving right now. If you do !current kata in the chat, you can get a link to it. So if anybody comes along, they're like, hey, what kata are you working on? Do that command. And essentially, we need to implement a list data structure. Now, it's special. It's not just any old list data structure. It must support an infinite number of elements. You can see in the problem description that we have to implement several static methods like list.primes, list.fib, list.pi, which are essentially infinite lists that will produce a certain number of prime numbers or produce a certain number of Fibonacci numbers or produce a certain number of maybe digits of pi or something like that. But also there are just regular class methods. So we have things like create an empty list, iterate, repeat, cycle, replicate from list. And then we have lots of instance methods. So we have head, tail, init, last, length, toList, get, nil, take, drop, cons, append, slice, and like 20 more. So we're in the process of implementing all of these methods. And I'll show you what I mean by infinite lists. So let's take a quick stretch, though. All right, see you later, someone amazing. Thanks for being here with us. Oh yeah, I forgot, we have more focus modes. So we used basically one focus mode. We used one. Let's do one more and while I do this explanation. Cool. So here is what I mean by infinite lists, and it's easier if you can see an example of it. So for example, this is code that we need to make work. So we're implementing this list class. We're implementing all of these methods. So we were given a test that runs this, and we needed to make that test pass. So it says list.repeat 1 and then take 10 to list. So the result of this, the return value of toList, would give us an array with 10 ones inside of it. However, this is like a generic parameterized function, right? We could have said repeat 1, take 100, and that should have generated a list of 100 ones. So this is what we mean by infinite lists. Like, the internal representation is not necessarily holding all of the data. It really doesn't result in a value until you call toList. And thank you very much, Sightseer, for the 3-month resub. I appreciate you. If you say list, repeat 1, toList, I believe that's going to actually give you back an empty list because you never said take. So you said repeat, but you didn't say how many you wanted. I don't know if we have a test for that, but we could run it. And then here's another example to kind of drive home this idea of infinite lists. So we have this nested thing, list from list. So this is a method we implemented. You can pass in an array, and that generates this, it creates an instance of this list data structure with those values, 1, 2, and 3. And then we're using cycle. So what cycle does is it repeats that list of values. So we say cycle those 3 values, take 10 and send it to a list that results in an array that is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And I'll see you later, Tech with Turbinator. I missed some of your messages, but I'm doing my best. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And basically you could have started with a list of any number of values. You could have said take with any number, any possible number, and it would have repeated that value over and over. So you could have said take 1,000, and you would have got an array of length 1,000 with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 repeated over and over again. So this is the kind of thing that we're implementing. And there are ways to do this without like specific language constructs, but in JavaScript, we have these things called generator functions, and they make this fairly easy to implement or fairly easy to think about. So in JavaScript, a generator function is a function that can be exited and later re-entered. The context will be saved across reentrances. And so you can check out on MDN about generator functions, but basically what this means is we can have functions that can be called multiple times and yield potentially a different value every time. And so in JavaScript, this star, this asterisks, is how you denote a generator function. So we have a generator function that takes in some parameter, and then we have the yield keyword. So the yield keyword is kind of like the return keyword, but it returns the value and pauses the execution of the function. So we can create an instance of this generator, right? We invoke generator and pass in 10. That gives us back a generator instance. And now when we say generator.next, it's going to yield the first value, which is, in this case, 10, because that's the value I that was passed in. And now this execution is paused. We could go about our day and do other things, but later on, let's say later on in the code, we say generator.next, that will then give us back the next yielded value. So yield 10 plus 10, which is 20. So that's the interesting thing about generators is basically the execution of the function can be paused. They can potentially yield an infinite number of values. And that's what we're using under the hood to implement these mechanisms. A quick note is that if you've ever used async await in JavaScript, and you're potentially using like a Babel polyfill or something like that, for browsers that don't support async await, which is really only IE at this point, and I guess IE doesn't even support generator functions, or maybe they do, but generators are ways to polyfill async await, because like the await keyword kind of pauses the execution of an asynchronous function to wait for some value, and then when it gets back the value, it resumes the execution. It's very similar, but generators existed in the ECMAScript standard before async await. Yeah, and Doc has a great idea about implementing symbol.iterator. That will actually be really cool, because where was I reading about that? Oh, it might have been on Ponyfoo. Yeah, so there's another link in the working on document that links to this Ponyfoo blog. This blog is great if you want to learn about ES6 JavaScript stuffs. And in particular, they have this article on generators. And yeah, it's basically saying if you look at an instance of a generator, it basically implements, it is an iterator. It can be iterated. It's iterable. And so technically this list class that we're creating, we could put symbol.iterator on there and tell it to use our entries function. Yeah. Mayela is saying functional programming is the thing that made me understand what are generators. Yeah, I haven't. Maybe you all can tell me if you've used other programming languages. Do other programming languages and which programming languages have a feature like this? The idea that you can pause the execution of a function. Yeah, and thank you for the link, Shaggy. Yeah. So this is really cool. Check that out. You'll learn more. And I guess, yeah, this is like implementing, it's in a way kind of like implementing a generator because it has like an array of items and yeah. Okay, so Python has generators as coroutines. Interesting. Interesting. C# has at least 2 versions of it, yield and async await. Very cool. Yeah, so I mean, technically this was added to ECMAScript, which is the JavaScript standard, in ES 2015. But in terms of when it actually got support, you can check out caniuse.com, search for generator. ES6 generators, I mean, IE has no support. There's recent news that Microsoft is going to drop all support for IE next year, which is interesting. I mean, they can drop support. People are still going to keep using it, or like enterprises are still going to keep using it. But you can see that support goes all the way back to like Edge version 13, Firefox version 26, Chrome version 39. So like these browsers have supported generators for a very long time. But if you take a look at like async await, it's a few versions later that was supported. So generators came first, and it's typically how it's polyfilled. Okay. That's enough for the background knowledge. Let's get to writing some code. And if anybody comes in and they're like, "What are you doing?" Unfortunately, we've already spent like 30 minutes explaining the background knowledge. So if you could just do this command, working on, that will link them to that document I was just showing you. And if they really do want to know what I'm working on, they can read this wall of text, because we're deep in it, and we have about 60% of the test passing. So. We're going to try our best. We're going to get as many passing as possible. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to copy episode 56 into a folder called episode 57. It just allows me to keep track of, and allows viewers to keep track of, what the code looked like for that particular episode. But we're going to start with the code that we've been working on, and Wait. Did somebody modify it? Oh, no. Are you just saying because I did the working on command, you're telling other mods to not modify it? Yeah. And here's the other thing. Keep the working on command the same. But if this document ever goes out of date, just let me know in the chat and I can update it, because it's just a gist. I can change it instantly and it'll be reflected for the entire world to see. So if this document is ever wrong, I think this is how we're going to try and do things, because it becomes harder and harder to explain the background knowledge of the things that I'm working on, especially when they get this deep in, because we're technically on episode 3 here. I mean, we've done other things where we're on like episode 10, and like an hour or an hour and a half of that stream is just explaining all of the background knowledge. I don't know. We're doing the best we can. Here we go. I'm gonna do a clean install. Usually when you move folders around that have node module dependencies, it breaks things. So if you do npm CI, that removes node modules and reinstalls them. And let's run the tests. Let's see what happens. Yeah, we've got passing tests. Now, a wise person once told me that you should leave your code with a failing test so that you know where to pick up. But I don't know. We'll look at the code now. Oh, and the other thing is, if you go to that working on link, there is a link to the last episode's code. So you can see where we're at right now. We have our list class. We have all of these functions that we've been implementing, like empty, from list, repeat, iterate. And this is where we're using generator functions. And what I'll show you right now, which is pretty interesting, is the fact that you can have an infinite loop with the yielded value inside of it. And this is what basically allows us to have infinite lists, because we're able to pause the execution. This doesn't like halt the runtime. Whenever we have this infinite loop here, it yields a value, and then the next time the generator is called, it yields a new value. Upgrade the chatbot so it can do the katas itself. Maybe. Okay, so if we look at the code, this is our list class, and again, so this is basically how we're creating infinite lists. We create a generator function that gets passed into the constructor of a list instance, and the internal instance methods are able to use that generator function to generate values based on the different functions that are called. Cool. I actually do have a library called CJJS, now that you mention it. It's not at all useful. It's c.js. Can you have periods in a GitHub? Yeah, here it is. A simple JavaScript MVC framework that no one should use. It's called CJS. It lets you do things like this. Create an app with an element selector. You can create a router. You can specify component names. You can add components, which are basically just a data model, a template function view. It supports input binding. You can have methods that can be called. I think you can have a controller function. Yeah. This was written 3 years ago, and I haven't touched it since. So that's a thing. But it was really just an exercise in implementing some of the more basic features that you see in front-end frameworks. So you can look at the code, and the code is fairly readable. Wait, no. Is it all in here? Yeah, so we have an app component, has a few functions on it. You have a component class. You have a router. You can take a look. And then that is what inspired a talk that I've given a couple of times. Coding Garden MVC Vanilla? This one. This is a 27-minute talk where I implement that a library very similar to that. From scratch, in front of your eyes, live in front of your eyes. Okay. I'm procrastinating. I definitely am procrastinating, but let's actually try to write some code. Yes, so we have these functions. Let's get into it. If we look at our tests, I think the next one we were working on, oh yeah, and this was a Fibonacci test. So if you go list.fib, take 79, that will return the first 79 values of the Fibonacci sequence. Or you could do things like this. Take 8 values and drop the first 3 and then get the rest for the Fibonacci sequence. So you can do things like that. That's the last thing we implemented last time. Yeah, Doc is saying the one thing I was missing was memoization for filters and maps. So I think let's see, we just implemented fold left. Yeah, and then I think we skipped fold right. Let's get right into element index. And LYU, thank you very much for that Twitch Prime sub. Much appreciated. Is this what a software developer does in real life? No, not at all. And if there are any software developers watching, you can confirm. And Bach Bogan, thank you very much for that Twitch Prime sub. I appreciate you. No. So I am my title is Chief Full Stack Engineer. I build full stack websites. I model databases. I come up with architecture. I build front-end applications. I build APIs. All of these have to do with real-world problems. Chief, yes, I'm a chief. And this is more like theoretical computer science. Yeah. So let me know if you're a software engineer in the chat. Let me know. Do you do this kind of things? Yeah, and C# Fritz. I guess this was a while ago. Wait, why are my messages out of order? Are they? That's so weird. But you make a good point. Streams in programming and teaching focused channels. It is very difficult to maintain pace, and so I'm trying my best. Yeah. My chat is completely out of order. It is not sorted at all. Right? Yeah, Roast says Stack Overflow devs mostly spend their time. Oh, no, sorry, software devs mostly spend their time on Stack Overflow. Yeah. If I do x equals, okay, I basically need to look at all the messages that Doc sent. Yeah. So ultimately, these problems are fun to work on and think about because you might use a library that implements something like this under the hood. But in terms of a real-world job that somebody would pay you to build a thing, you're probably not going to be writing code like this. Is basically all I'm saying. Junior production developer here, definitely not on this level yet. It helps to be able to understand how this kind of stuff works, but one doesn't have to be able to create it from scratch. Yes, that's basically the point. Like, if you understand the inner workings, you could be using a library that does similar things and not just think that it's magic. You could actually understand how something like that is implemented. Yeah. Senior engineer here, I don't do things like this every day. I don't do this kind of thing. Yeah. It's a good question. I might be missing messages too. I'm sorry, everyone. It's not on purpose. Loco says, I have 5 years of experience working on back-end side projects, but when I face to build something with Express, I struggle. Any advice? If you could let me know, like, what do you use in PHP and Python? Like, what way are you used to creating applications? Because the thing about Express is it's a micro framework. You basically have to do everything yourself. All it provides for you are requests and responses. Whereas if you're using something like Laravel in PHP, they do a lot for you up front. Or if you're using something like Django in Python, they also do a lot for you. There are similar frameworks in JavaScript for that kind of stuff. Yeah, concepts are core. Yeah. I do need to fix the overlay. I think it's potentially the sorting order. Yeah, Laravel stuff. Yeah. So if those are the kinds of things that you're used to, Express is a whole lot more work. I'll show you this. So there is Sales.js. I don't use this personally, mainly because it's extremely opinionated, but it's potentially a good thing. So the Sales is very similar and comparable to Ruby on Rails in that they have a ton of opinions. They do use Express under the hood, but they basically make it really easy to spin up a CRUD app like instantly. So you can check out Sales.js. Yeah, Adonis, I believe, it was inspired by Laravel. So this is like the JavaScript version of, wasn't it? Can someone confirm or deny? Yeah. Adonis is similar to Laravel, so you can check out Adonis.js. And then I don't know if there is anything similar to Django. Does anybody have any suggestions for that? Like, I would say Sales is probably more similar to Django. But basically, these are full-fledged frameworks that have a lot more, or just use Django. Well, that's good to hear, I am. So, all of these things are more similar to what you're used to in terms of they do more for you rather than having to write everything from scratch. Okay, let's write code. We're procrastinating. I think I'm just going to try to implement this function here. So, we say list from list, and then we try to get a specific element index. Also, we have a few more focus modes. Yeah, I think we're going to have to do it because I have to go to work in about 30 minutes. So, we have 1, 2, 3... 4 focus modes. What is 4 times 8? Please tell me in the chat. 4 times 8. Congrats to Drunk Time Lord, the first person to answer 4 times 8 in the chat. I had to do that quietly because every time I say that I'm going to give somebody a sub, then Anonymous comes in and swoops and gifts them instead. But congrats. Thank you very much, Drunk Time Lord, for the answer, which was 32. All right. So we're going to do 32 minutes of focus mode. Here we go. Oh, thank you very much, DJ CJ. The ninja gifter. Yeah, I basically, I can't say that I'm going to give somebody something because then somebody else will gift it. Okay. Yeah, Anonymous is so generous here. Thank you to IM for that hydrate. Cheers. Mod with the posture check. Oh, nice. Yeah, everybody's getting these new emotes. What are these? Hypermine. Very cool. Coops with a hydrate. Cheers. DS Legends also with a hydrate. Yeah, the overlay is dim on purpose. This is what is known as focus mode. Basically, it's a lot harder for me to read the chat. Tech with Terminator. Thank you for that posture check. I think they're gone at this point, but thank you for that posture check. And Howard, cheers as well. We do have 2 breaks. I mean, I'll give you your points back because we gotta do the thing. Olaf, thank you very much for the gifted sub. Speaking of Olaf, I watched Frozen 2 last night. I realize you probably hate it that your name is associated with a snowman in a cartoon. But that's the snowman's name, Olaf. Anonymous, thank you very much for the gifted sub. Is that what happened? Yeah. Congrats. We're already in a hype train. All right, it's fine. Let's write some code. So right now, I want to implement this function. So this says, if we say from list 1, 2, 3, and we get the element index 0, it should return -1. Yeah, so we already implemented elem. Elem, I believe, just says whether or not there is a value at that index. Or no. Elem is like if that value is inside of the array or the list itself. What I'm going to do here is we need to get the specific value at that index, and if it doesn't exist, return -1. So if I run the tests, no, that's not it. Ace Mods, thank you very much for the gifted sub. 5 gifted. Congrats, everyone. And thank you, Ace Mods. Awesome. So we have a failing test because this element index function doesn't exist. So now we're going to implement that. If you're just joining and all of that previous stuff confused you, this might be a little bit easier to digest because we're going to look at one specific function, which is element index. So element index takes in the index, and then we need to find the index of that value. And it's going to be very similar to finding the value. But if it's not found, we return -1. So basically, we need to iterate over all the entries in this list. Entries is a custom function we wrote that uses the generator to iterate over all of the values that are in this infinite list. And we can't really use... We get each value, but that doesn't give... I guess we could do this. We could create a variable to iterate up. And then on each time we increment the count. And DJ, CJ, thank you for those gifted subs as well. You're too kind. You're being very generous today. Alan keeps saying 30. Alan, I think Alan wants to be gifted. You keep saying 32. 32. That part is over now. And so we can say if count is equal to that given index, then we return that given value. My linter wants me to do +=1. Otherwise, we return -1. So this is how we find a value at an index. Because this is not just a regular plain old list data structure where we have like an internal array that stores the values or an internal like linked list that stores the values, we can't just grab that specific index. We basically need to iterate using the provided generator. And once we've found the thing that we're looking for, we return that specific value. So in this case, we have our count, which is basically our current index. It starts off at 0. If that is equal to the current value, then or the index that we're looking for, return that value itself. Otherwise, increment it and keep on keeping on. And Redstone Games, thank you very much for the 20 bits. Much appreciated. Oh no, so I do, but we can look at the test. I don't think we want the index. We want the value at that index. Wait, never mind. Never mind. Oh, no. Yeah. So, this actually, oh, you're right. This is value. So, you're right. I did this wrong. We want to do if, and this is, value. I did this totally wrong. So, element. If value is equal to element, return count. That's it. That's the one. And so these two tests should pass. Let's see if they pass. They pass. There we go. Yeah. Everybody was like yelling at the screen, what are you doing? But we pass in the index and we give back the given value at that index. So that's what we're doing here. And in this case, I'll rename this to index because now we don't have that other variable. So index starts at 0. We're going to look at each value. If the value is equal to what we're looking for, we're going to return that index, otherwise increment. And if we didn't find it, if we looked at every single entry in this list, we return -1. Cool. All right. This should work. So we have an empty list and we get 0. It should return -1 because it's going to just default to our return -1. Let's see. Great work. Now we need to implement find. I think. So here's the thing. Doc has provided quite a few hints in the chat. So, and they're the ones that originally suggested this kata. Let's see what they have to say. Don't forget the kata description has full specs. Yeah, I'll need to look at that soon. Yeah, we fixed that. Element index takes the value defined and returns the index. We did that. Great. Did it live up to the original Frozen? It's okay. The songs are kind of catchy. Frozen 2, solid B+. That's my rating. Okay, side effects. If you do... Okay, I'm just going to copy all the things that Doc has to say because it's very likely that we're going to have to come back to this. The one thing you were missing was memoization for filter and map. Okay, Doc. And actually, we'll do it in this order. Order of when Doc's comments are important. Interesting. Something about symbol iterator. Yeah, this could be fun too. I don't know if we'll implement it though. You have to remember, Doc, that I am a simple man. I'm doing my best to implement these functions. Yeah, I think that's it. Did Doc say anything else? No, that's it. Reviews with CJ. Oh, you're welcome, Drunk Time Lord. Thanks for doing that. That's it? Okay. Okay. Rename star entries to symbol iterator, and you'll be able to just use the list itself as an iterable instead of list.entry. I guess, you know, this would be a fun refactor right here, because right now, all of our tests are passing. Right? All of our tests are passing. So, if we change in our code everywhere, we're calling this.entries. Instead of doing that, I want to just be able to say, for value of this. And if we implement symbol.iterator, behind the scenes, JavaScript will know to use that entries function. And if we do it right, then all of our tests will continue passing. And actually, I'll show you the entries function. Basically, it starts at 0. It creates an instance of the generator, whatever generator that may be, depending on the list that we're working on. And the instance of the list also has a start and an end. So this is basically how we're able to have a infinite list, is we know when to start and when to end. And when we reach that, we return... well, basically, we break out of the loop because we no longer need to look at entries. And you may not have known this, but if a generator function can actually be spread into an array because it is an iterator. So if we do spread this, and we implement symbol.iterator, we should be good. Use VS Code's search and replace to eliminate this.entries. Yeah, let's look at everywhere we call this.entries. Okay. I think we can just... I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna do that. So now, everywhere we had this.entries, now it's just this. And now, instead of calling this entries, we just do this. Right? We say symbol.iterator. So this is this is basically how you tell JavaScript that this is what they need to look at. And we say it equals that. It doesn't need to be static. I mean, technically, wait, what did I change? Oh, Doc said that last time. Why is this complaining? Expected indentation of 2 spaces, but found 3. Oh, okay. Here's what I think we need to do. Potentially in the constructor, we set it. So like symbol this at symbol.iterator equals this.entries, like that. Is that it? Is this gonna work? First try. Broken. This particular case, I actually don't want to set it to this because we are accessing the specific generator. So whenever I say generator equals this right here, this does need to be this.entry still. That one stays the same. The rest of them are changed. Also that one too. So where else am I doing this? Because if I set it equal to this, when I try to call a specific thing, then it won't exist because it's not the generator that was returned from entries, it was the instance itself. That should do it. That's the winner. All right, first try. Nice. I mean, technically like third try, but that's fun. Test fail. And I'll reiterate why we had to do that. Because, well, I think it could have worked there. Where else did we do it? Here, yeah. Because we're specifically calling generator.next. And because I just set it to this, technically, I would have needed, if I just set it to this, then it's looking for an instance method called next. And we don't have an instance method called next on the list itself. All right. Good enough. Generator equals this at symbol.iterator. That could work too, but it's a named function. I think I like that better. All right. So we took care of that comment from Doc. The one thing I'm missing was memoization for filter and map, where there could be side effects. Have we implemented filter and map yet? Let's look at our tests. Basically, all of these commented out tests are what we're working on next. That's fine. Really, we just have these, and then like our scan functions. I don't know. Let's implement find. Let's see. Side effects. If you do x equals list.filter some callback, and you do y equals x.take5, then print x and y, some callback should only be evaluated once for the whole list. Yeah, so I guess when you do filter, like technically take shouldn't reiterate because filter was already called. We would need to store the internal values or something like that. I don't know. What's that one, man? Oh, you're literally doing a find function? Yeah, so I mean, it'll be easy enough to implement. The only thing I'm worried about is once we get into side effects and potentially running out of memory. But yeah, find should be easy enough. So if we look at find, find takes in a function. So let's just start there. And first of all, we should now have a failing test because we don't have a find method. Okay. So right here. Well, right here. Find. Okay. The test should not fail because the method is missing. Now the method returns undefined. So received undefined. So if we look at the test, the signature is that find accepts a function. Is this the predicate function? Is that a good thing to call that? Basically, this is a function that if it returns true, we've found the value. The predicate? It's really weird that they're doing like bit shifting stuff. I realize I could use watch. I like the idea of manually running them so that we can see them pass. Find function? Yeah, find function is very generic. So predicate, I think predicate itself implies that it is a function. Is that true? I'm curious. Let's look on Wikipedia for predicate. Might be a disambiguation. In mathematical logic, a fundamental concept in first order logic. Functor logic? Predicate logic. Functional predicate. Let's just call it predicate, and we're not going to put FN on there. It's a predicate. It's a predicate, everyone. And then it's also very similar to element, not element index. It's very similar to elem. Right? I mean, we'll figure it out. So we need to iterate. We'll say if predicate at the given value, then we return that value. Is that what we need to do? Let's look at the test. So find the element where this matches, and then we return that element value. Should be able to do, where are all of our finds? Find. Okay, so all of these finds pass in a function. If a given element matches, return the value that where it does match. Otherwise, we return undefined. So we'll just remove the return keyword because by default it will return undefined. Why is this complaining? Expected to return a value at the end of the method. Okay, we can be explicit. That's just my linter that wants me to be consistent. Technically, I don't need that line of code. But, all right, do the test pass. Wow, it's just too easy. So iterate over our entries. If that value matches this given predicate function, return that value. Otherwise, try the next value. If we've tried all the values, then we return undefined. Test pass. Yeah, that's great. All right, do we already have find index? Oh, we don't. Find index is going to be similar, but instead of returning the element, we return the index. So that should be easy enough. Find index, and we'll say let index equals 0. Increment the index on each iteration, and if we found it, return the index itself. If it's not found, we probably want -1. I just say that because that's how JavaScript find index works. Test pass. Test pass. We're flying through these. All right, let's implement any, which should be fun. So this is like sum in JavaScript. If you've seen the sum function, they're all full function specs in the kata description. Oh, I mean, let's look. So if we look at find index, the first index in the list, this actually doesn't tell me if it should return -1 or not. Yeah. But what I want to show you really quick is, toList and then sum.it. I don't necessarily want to do that because toList would have to generate the entire list, whereas if I use the generator, I don't have to generate the entire list. I can just go up to or stop at the first value. toList is expensive. Yeah, we blame the specs. But if you look at array sum, so this is a function a higher order function in JavaScript where you pass in a function, and if at least one of the values in the array matches that function, it returns true. So it's do some of these values return true, and in this case, do at least one return true. So that's what we're going to try to implement now, and in this case, it's called any, which is very similar. So do any of the values match this case? And really, we can probably reuse our find function. Yeah, okay, so any. And any, no, never mind. Maybe? Any takes in a specific value. It doesn't take in a function. Okay, so this is slightly different than sum in JavaScript because sum takes in a function, comparison. It does take in a function. Oh, I need to, what is this ID variable that they're hiding from me? Oh, it's a function. It's the identity function, which just returns itself. Okay, so it does take in a function. I should probably just read the specs. I know. Okay, but I guess this is also our predicate, right? Because if it returns true, then we use it. And I could just say like find. No. found index equals this dot find index with that same predicate, and then return found index does not equal -1. There we go. We can reuse the work that we've already done. So try to find the index, and if we found the index, then that means that it's there. Hey, Bro Mythical, thank you very much for that Twitch Prime sub. What's up, Vish? We're writing some code. We're at the coding garden. Test pass. All right, back to the tests. Okay, so we're getting there. We're getting there. We have all. Okay, so all is very similar to every in JavaScript. So every is another higher order method that is built in. Oh, and somebody asked how do I do this? So first of all, have you heard of our good friend DuckDuckGo? So DuckDuckGo is my default search engine, and they have this really cool thing called bang commands. You do ! and you can search across a bunch of different services. So what you saw me do there is search across MDN, which is the Mozilla Developer Network, MDN. And so whatever I type in automatically searches MDN. So if I do MDN array every, I know each and everything. Array every is a function where you pass in a predicate, and if that returns true for every value in the array, then the whole thing will return true. So now we need to implement all right here. So let's get that going. So we have any, and then we have all. So we kind of just, I mean, I don't think we can reuse an existing function because we basically need to iterate the values like so. And if any one of them returns false, we return false. Otherwise, we keep going. And if we got through all of them, we return true. Like this. So iterate through the values. If the predicate does not match, we're done. It's like an early return. We break out and return false. But if the predicate matches for every single value, return true. And so that should be good. Test pass. Yeah, I think that's a bug, Mark. They're technically supposed to hide. All right, test pass. You can reuse any by negating the predicate. But how would I negate the predicate? It's a function. Oh. Oh. I don't like that though, because any technically returns at the first occurrence, and I need to look at one specific value. I don't know. I like this. There are definitely other ways to do it. Also, I need to check and make sure there are no like work alerts or anything. Cool. There are no fires at work, so we're going to do our best to keep implementing these. Okay, so test pass. All right, did we implement all? Do the test pass. Test still pass. Great. Let's implement the. How the heck does the work? I'll read. I guess I will read the description of what the means. This is fine. What's up, Mr. Demon Wolf? Shout out to Mr. Demon Wolf. Click that link. Drop a follow. He's a member of our Live Coders team, and he's a mod here on the Coding Garden. Okay. Let's go read about what the does, because I have no idea. An element of the list, if all elements of the list are equal, undefined otherwise, possibly diverges for infinite lists. Okay. So, it's like the identity. So do all of the elements in the array equal the same thing? And if they do, return that value. I can do that. I believe in myself. So we have the, and it doesn't take in any values. And we basically need to look at every value. So let's basically iterate. We're going to look at each value. And we're we're going to store the first value. So let, what did they call it? Any element of the list of all elements are equal. Let's just call it like default value. And so it starts off as undefined. So if there is no default value, then we're going to set default value equal to basically the first value. And then we're going to say if the next value, else if value does not equal the default value, then return false. But if we make it through all of that, we're going to return true. So what if the list contains undefined? That's fine. We're going to assign it. I mean, I see what you mean. So we could also, let's do this. Let's create a Boolean. Let has default value equals false. And then we'll look at that, because you're right. Because technically falsiness could tap in there. So if we do not has a default value, then we create a body on our if statement, because we're doing multiple things. So we set the default value and we say has default value equals true. So now we have a specific variable that allows us to keep track of whether or not we have the default value. And this is only going to happen on the first iteration of the for loop. Like, technically we could get access to the generator instance, call generator.next once, set that to the default value, and then iterate the rest. But I like this for of loop. It looks nice. It's nice. So if we don't have a default value, set the default value to be the first value and say we do have one, and then we look at every single other value. And if that value doesn't equal the default one, return, what do we return? Undefined, actually. So we return undefined. But if we make it all the way to the end, then we return the default value. Like so. All right. Test pass. Yeah, we technically do have access to the head method. That could be nicer. Yeah, because if we say head, that gives us the first value in the array, and then we check other value against it. I don't know. I think it's fine. I think technically, look at this. We have, how many more things we need to implement? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 tests we need to implement. I'm curious. How many passing tests do we have if we submit this code right now? Let's see. I would hate to take this to another episode, but let's see what we get. Passed 34 tests, failed 1 test. So that's for the basic call. Yeah, we didn't implement slice, but when you do an attempt, even if tests fail, it still runs the other tests too. So let's see what this gives us. I'm always worried it might time out too. Oh, no, look at that. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. So 76 tests pass, 8 failed tests. So 76 plus 8 is 84. And 76 out of 84 is a 90. We got an A. It's an A minus technically, but we got an A right now. All right, I think I have the time to actually, like, I can't get too confident. Let's get these tests going. Okay. So technically we need slice. Is slice hard? I think this is where Doc was mentioning memoization with side effects. Do I actually have to worry about this, Doc? Can I just try it? Try it without memoization? Memoization. Okay. Let's just do it. Yeah, I'm gonna try it without it. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident that we can get it going. All right, so let's try to implement this slice method. So slice, you pass in a starting index, and it will start there inclusive. And you can also pass in an end index, and it will end there exclusive. And And you can also pass in nothing and it returns just the same list. So we'll run this. Failing tests, we need a slice method. Now, you can see that our list constructor takes in a start value and an end value. Technically, make use of tail. Wait, what does tail do? Let's see. But what I was thinking is we just create a new instance of the list and change the start and end value, and it should just work. But what does tail do? Tail returns everything except for the first value. Does tail accept? We do take, drop. Okay, we could use drop and take. We could do drop 1, take the count. Let me try it my way first. I think I'm just going to create a new instance of the list. Yeah, right here. So I'm going to create a new instance of the list that has a different start and end value. That's all. That's all. So we go way down here. We're going to create our slice method. It gives us a start and an end, possibly. End will default to this dot end, and start will default to this dot start. So this is how you do a default assignment in JavaScript and in a lot of other languages. But basically, if those values aren't passed in, they're going to take the default value from the current instance. So that's great. And then we'll return a new list with like we need this generator function basically. So yeah, we can just do this dot function generator. I think that's all we got to do. So we do this dot function generator, this dot, oh, then we just do start, and then we do end minus 1 because the end is not inclusive, I guess. First try? Darn it. Okay, maybe we don't do minus 1, we just pass an end. Second try? Second try. Don't forget your current list already has start and end. That's how the lazy take or drop works. So you'll have some math. I mean, it worked. It worked. So basically, I'm creating a new instance of the list that uses the exact same generator function, but it overwrites the start and end to be the values that were passed in. This dot start and this dot end. That's a default. Doc, are you telling me I'm wrong? Or are you agreeing with me? Because, oh, I see what you're saying. Technically, I need to default to 0 and infinity. Because it's not based on the instance. It's based on, well, right? Right? And if that's the case, I actually don't even need default values. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. Oh well. I think the last things we have to implement are like fold left and fold right. Fold right, scan right. This is one that I had a really hard time thinking about. Because basically, we have to iterate from the end to the beginning, which is difficult because the nature of the infinite list is that it starts from left to right. And if we need to iterate from right to left, we have to like generate the values first. Okay. Let's take a look at fold right. I'm also going to go read about the fold right description. I guess I'm missing chats, aren't I? I don't see what Doc just said. That's not good. I can recursively call fold right. We'll try it. Doc, what are you saying? Marty, nice. Is my overlay completely and totally broken? Yeah, timeout. Let's look at the network requests. I mean, technically, the find call does time out after 5 seconds. That is true. Because there are what, how many users? 221. I have an idea. Is my database full? It shouldn't be, no. I think my backend is just struggling when it has to, because for every user that's displayed in my overlay, it has to hit the Twitch API. That could be where it's struggling. I was running into issues before the stream started. I definitely need to take a look-see. Okay, there's that. What I want to do is this. I'm only going to load the most recent chats. Or the chats from the last 20 minutes, I guess. Chat app. And when the whole thing is started, we do this. Let's just load the last 50 messages. See what happens. Yeah, the last 50 messages are only from 14 different users. Because I think that's where things are hanging up. Is it's attempting to request the list of all users. Hey, Same Place Things. How would you scale apps like these? Not in the naive way I've written this. I mean, so the reason I wrote it this way is because it was quick and dirty, right? We just got it working. But if I wanted this app to be usable by other streamers and multiple streamers at the same time, I would probably need multiple backend instances, potentially a different backend instance for each streamer, depending on the size of the streamer, or certain streamers could share the same instance, depending on like chat activity and stuff like that as well. It really, really depends. Okay. Let's do this. Let's get the last 0 messages. And then I think it'll no longer need to request all of them. Do. Oh, that's a potential bug. If I do limit limit 0, then there's no limit. I guess that's not a bug. I guess that means yeah, default to no limit at all. All right, I think it's working. Can people just say hi in the chat? Are you still there? Yep, you can see I'm missing messages in this overlay too. Okay, that one came through. It's like I'm missing every other message. This is so unfortunate. Oh, well, that's me with a laptop. What that means is I've been missing messages this entire time, right? Like, people are sending messages and I'm not actually seeing them in my overlay. This is not good. This is not good. All right. One more thing. We need to fix this. Well, the thing is, I have to go at this point. I would hate to have another episode solving the exact same problem, though. Which is why I want to do this. Okay, can you all just say hi in the chat? It's possible that my backend is not emitting events. It's also possible that someone is spamming my backend API. That's one thing I didn't think about. Yeah, so like I'll show you really quick. I'm seeing these messages here, right? And we're only getting like every other message, so it's very possible that my backend API is just experiencing a lot of traffic for whatever reason. Let's see. Yeah. What's up, Milky Dev? It might be a DDoS, yeah. But I see it. Here's the thing. I see a lot of different IP addresses. The main thing is, though, this is the same backend that serves up Vox. So it's very possible that this is legitimate traffic, but doesn't look like it to me. Let's see. 15. That was 4 minutes ago. Just a second. Yeah, 4 minutes ago, somebody tried sending a request with a potentially valid API key. So, you know what that means. That means that somebody potentially like paused a VOD, and they've somehow found my API key. It's not like it's only the API key for listening for messages and potentially archiving messages. You can't really do anything else with it. It may have just been a mistake of my own looking at the chat logs like that. But basically, here's what I got to do. I'm going to generate, I know you can't see my screen, but I'm going to generate a new API key. And then that will break for anybody that's already connected. It's also going to break all of my overlays, though, so I have to go in and update all of my overlays to use this new API key. I think that's it. Same thing here. Now somebody's really trying to hit the API. Stop it, everybody! Stop hitting the API. Let me see really quick. Doc is a legendary 1Q master. I guess there's chat. There's chat happening. I have no idea what's happening. I'm just over here trying to fix my overlays. Let's see really quick. It's technically timing out on a find though, which is crazy. However. Oh. Yeah, somebody is definitely... I mean, I don't know if they're DDoSing it. They're just looking at different endpoints, because they're looking at endpoints that don't exist anymore. So they may have watched like an older video and thought that those things exist. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I mean, whoever you are, I hope you're using a... you're not using your local network, because you will be banned. You will be IP banned. Oh, so here's the other thing. So this server is running multiple websites. People are, for some reason, going to the older Q&A website, and like that works. Someone explain what happened. Oh no, it's probably just I wrote bad code. I don't see a ton of requests. I do see. Okay. Maybe. See, I don't know if this is legitimate traffic or not. I need some way to filter through the logs to like spot anybody that is like spamming the website. It's also possible that like right now people going to if they try to go to the Vox website, it's technically down because it uses the same backend. I don't know. Regardless, I have to go. I gotta go to work. I can't look at this anymore. But I will fix it later. Yeah, it's like one of those problems where, like, there are people going to your website. Is this legitimate traffic? Or are they actually trying to DDoS it? Because I see requests from Safari. I see requests from Windows. I see requests from iOS. They're not coming in super fast, but they are every now. Like, I mean, just the fact that I mentioned the website could have potentially meant that somebody tried to go there when I mentioned it. Though I am seeing quite a few IP addresses hitting the Q&A website. I don't know. The mysteries of Coding Garden. The nice thing about it is, though, it's all inconsequential. Like, I could literally, hey, Super Chuck, thank you for the 2 months, who says, have fun at work. It's inconsequential. All I have to do is just open the Twitch chat. That's literally all I have to do. Let's just do this. Like so. And we'll put that right about there. Okay. Thank you all for watching. This was fun. I think one last thing I'll do, because I technically implemented Slice, is I will take the code that I've written. And Maui, thank you very much for that Twitch Prime sub. Not using your own code is a bit sad, though. Wait, what do you mean by that? Oh yeah, because it's not my overlay. It's so these are the issues with. I mean, I kind of think about the Coding Garden stream as like a like a mini little startup in a way, because like we did our best. Like we just built some super basic overlays. They worked. They made things interactive. People got use out of them. But now we're getting more attention. More people are watching and chatting, and so all of the apps that we build, they need to scale. So we're scaling just in time, basically. Do I know some good software as a service services for Node, like PM2? Not sure what you mean by that. I mean, I use PM2 on a deployed server. What was I about to do? What did I just copy? I lost. Oh, we're gonna actually run this code that I've been writing for the past hour. Let's see it. I'm thinking we're gonna have like 95%, at least 95% passing. Let's see. Just in time optimization. Yeah, that's what we do here. Yeah, the code is open source right now. I like to call it open source spaghetti, because like you can look at the source code, but it takes a little bit of work to get it running. And if you wanted to use it on your own channel, it would take a little bit of work as well. Hey, the same number of tests fail. What? Right? Oh well, I think we're still at 90%. Yeah. Oh well. Free and open source spaghetti. The failing one is a timeout, the infinite list test. Oh. Well, we have scan left, scan right. I guess these are random functions. Oh, it actually is timing out. You're right. Right. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been super fun. We're gonna raid somebody, so stick around for the raid. If you type !raid in the chat, you'll get a link to this website where you can get the sub raid message, which is that one. You can also get this message. And DJ CJ, thank you for the 100 bits, who says, have a good day at work. Thanks for the content. You're very welcome. Thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully this new schedule is okay. Like I mentioned, we'll do it for like a month. We'll see how it goes. And then we'll reassess after that. But the next stream is planned for Friday morning. The thing about shortening it to 3 days a week instead of 4 days a week is we will potentially be doing different things and swapping things around. So because we haven't looked at the inventory app or entropy chat in a while, maybe we'll do that Friday morning. And because I'm doing it before work, we'll be forced to actually get work done instead of just like chatting for 5 hours, right? I don't know, but tune in Friday, 7:30 a.m. GMT -2. Yeah, thank you all. Thank you all for the supports today. If I missed your sub or your gift or your resub or your bits at any point, I apologize. Things have been very busy today, but you will see your name in the credits. All right, stick around for the raid. I appreciate you all. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And until next time, here is this. Just a second. The drop game is still running. That's actually because the chat listener for the drop game is actually a local server in a local database. It's not the deployed one. So that's interesting. So drop them if you got them. See you soon.